Imagine you're strapped into your seat as your plane lifts off, perfectly normal. Then, just 60 seconds later, engines cut out, alarms scream, and the aircraft plummets from the sky. Of 241 souls on board, only one survives. Sound unbelievable? It's real. And today we reveal the shocking new details behind the 2025 Air India crash and uncover two incredible but forgotten air disasters from Latin America, each with a single survivor. Prepare yourself, because these stories aren't just miracles, they're warnings. Crack open Latin America's boldest secrets, fact-checked, footnoted, and irresistible. I'm Arturo, and this is LatinLora, Crónicas y Curiosidades. From Latin America's history, to mysteries and true crime, to local legends, whispering Latin intrigue, every tale is triple verified in archives before it reaches your headphones. Hit subscribe. Fresh revelations drop every week. Ready for your next campfire debate. It's a hot morning, June 12th, 2025, at Sardar Vallabhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad, India. Passengers aboard Air India Flight 171, a sleek Boeing 787 bound for London Gatwick, feel the familiar tug of gravity as their aircraft smoothly climbs skyward. Everything seems perfectly routine. But just 60 seconds later, the ordinary shatters into terror. Cockpit voice recordings capture chaos. Engine 1 fuel cutoff. Wait, Engine 2, why did you cut it off? I didn't. Silence stretches painfully, broken only by a piercing stall alarm and a frantic voice crying out, "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday." At exactly 8:09 a.m., the massive jet plunges into the dusty scrubland, exploding in a fireball visible from miles away. Of the 241 passengers and crew on board, 240 souls vanish in an instant. But astonishingly, from the burning wreckage emerges a single survivor, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, a 33-year-old software engineer. Barely conscious, Vishwash whispers desperately, "Where is my brother?" The silence around him is deafening. Across the globe, news feeds erupt with a haunting phrase, "Air India lone survivor." Millions search online, feverishly typing queries. How did he survive? Plane crash survivor story. Black box mystery. But beneath the shock, deeper questions surface. Is Vishwash's survival unprecedented? Or is history repeating itself? Tonight, we'll revisit two forgotten miracles from Latin America, extraordinary stories that have long faded from memory. You'll meet Erika Delgado, who at just 9 years old survived Colombia's Flight 256 disaster, floating alone in a dark swamp, and Mailén Díaz, a vibrant Cuban teenager who awakened from tragedy to a life without legs. These aren't just tales of chance. They are stories of courage, corporate negligence, and miraculous survival. Prepare yourself. By the end of this story, you'll understand how these two individuals, Erika, Mailén, like Vishwash, beat impossible odds, illuminating humanity's resilience and exposing critical lessons we have yet to learn. Picture a hospital burn unit. Monitors beep rhythmically, and respirators hiss softly. Inside room 12 lies Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, his body battered and bandaged, clinging tenuously to life. Doctors call Vishwash's survival miraculous, 1 in millions. But how could this tragedy occur? On July 12th, India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau released an unsettling preliminary report. It revealed a terrifying detail. Both fuel cutoff switches inexplicably moved from run to cutoff within 1 second of each other. These switches don't move on their own. They're deliberately protected to prevent accidents. Cockpit recordings capture the confusion. "Why did you shut them off?" "I didn't." Pilots around the world shudder. debating online forums. Was it an electrical malfunction, sabotage, or human error? As the sun rises in New York, hashtags explode. Air India miracle, only survivor, 787 crash. News outlets focus on Vishwash, the sole beacon of hope in overwhelming tragedy, a psychological phenomenon experts call survivor euphoria. But to truly grasp today's miracle, we must travel back to another dark night, decades ago, in Cartagena, Colombia, January 11th, 1995. Passengers aboard Intercontinental Flight 256 are frustrated but relieved as their DC-9 finally takes off from Bogota, 6 hours behind schedule due to technical delays. Among them is 9-year-old Erika Delgado, her sketchbook propped on her lap, unaware her life is about to change forever. Intercontinental's troubled past was well known locally. Safety shortcuts, faulty equipment, and a reputation built on cheap fares and risk. At 7:33 p.m., controllers instruct Flight 256 to descend. Unbeknownst to the pilots, their instruments lie. The captain's altimeter freezes, displaying 8,000 feet higher than reality. The first officer's gauge is accurate but unreadable. The illumination gold has burned out. 5 minutes later, fishermen hear engines roaring unnaturally low. Then an explosive crash. The aircraft plummets into Ciénaga de María la Baja, a dense swamp filled with twisted mangroves. Flames reflect off black water. Arturo Ramos, a local villager, rushes barefoot into the smoke-filled marsh, drawn by faint cries for help. He discovers Erika, bruised but alive, nestled atop a floating bed of plants, protected by her mother's last embrace. The investigation uncovers negligence, frozen altimeters, ignored warnings, and insufficient training. Intercontinental continues limping forward until forced closure in 2005. Erika, orphaned by tragedy, grows up quietly. Nearly 3 decades later, she breaks her silence, admitting turbulence still terrifies her. Yet every flight she takes reminds her of life's fragility and resilience. On May 18, 2018, passengers on Cubana de Aviación Flight 972 board an aging Boeing 737 bound from Havana to Holguín. Among them is 19-year-old Mailén Díaz, who texts her sister, "See you soon," unaware these words might be her last. Cubana leased this jet from a Mexican carrier called Global Air, a company previously suspended twice for safety violations. As Flight 972 lifts off, something is horribly wrong. The plane's center of gravity is dangerously off balance. Just seconds after takeoff, the aircraft stalls violently, crashing into a cassava field near Havana. Villagers rescue 3 women from the wreckage. Within days, 2 succumb to injuries, leaving only Mailén. Mailén fights for life through unimaginable agony. After 20 surgeries and 10 months in intensive care, she emerges in a wheelchair, becoming a national symbol of resilience. Today, she advocates for survivors, boldly confronting her fears by flying again, proving that life can be rebuilt even after unimaginable loss. This disaster triggers international scrutiny. Cuba tightens leasing regulations. Mexico permanently grounds Global Air. But for Mailén and countless grieving families, the scars remain forever. Surviving a major plane crash is rarer than being struck twice by lightning. Yet Erika, Mailén, and Vishwas share this remarkable fate. Each occupied a seat near structural breakpoints, sections where planes split upon impact. Each disaster was shaped by human negligence, faulty instruments, inaccurate cargo records, unheeded warnings. Yet beyond the odds and errors, survivors embody humanity's innate strength. Psychologists explain our fascination with lone survivors. They embody both tragedy and hope, capturing the imagination and inspiring empathy. Erika became an artist, Mailén a fierce advocate. Vishwash, his journey just beginning, embodies potential. The investigation into Air India Flight 171 remains ongoing, leaving haunting questions unanswered. Was it faulty wiring? Human error? Rogue automation? Until we know more, speculation runs rampant. Yet historical lessons from Colombia and Cuba teach clear truths. Basic safety cannot be compromised. Warnings cannot be ignored, and redundancies must safeguard against human mistakes. Every aviation safety rule is forged from tragedies like these. Erika, Mailén, and now Vishwash highlight both vulnerability and resilience, serving as a stark reminder that safety demands constant vigilance. If these stories resonate with you, please like this video. Each interaction amplifies critical safety conversations. I am Arturo, and please subscribe to LatinLora for more deep dives into remarkable stories of tragedy, survival, and hope. Share this video to inspire others with proof that life can continue after catastrophe. 3 survivors, 3 continents, 3 eras. Their stories remind us that human courage emerges strongest when everything else fails. Planes fall, metal twists, but sometimes, miraculously, one passenger slips through fate's cracks, carrying memories for those lost. Keep their torch burning. Stay safe. And remember, each seatbelt click is a promise to return home